tuned with us. And I hand it over to John so we can start the presentation.
Shayaz, thank you very much. And thank you to everyone that's made the effort to join this session today. Lots of things to do in the world, but to spend time with me and with Blue Sky will be very, very welcome for you to do that for the good of your future. And we all need to plan our future. It will change, and lots of things are changing every day. And I keep on saying it to everyone. Your new skills are to start studying online, show your adaptability, show your determination, show all these things to happen. And if you're in Australia, of course, try and come on campus and join us on campus as you can, and the availability, of course, on campus. What I'll do today is I'm going to share some comments to do with what's happening in Australia. The border situation we'll want to know. They'll know on scholarships, I imagine. They'll want on fees. They'll want to know on courses that are availability, etc., etc. So there's lots of things that you could have questions about. My job is to initiate the discussion, not to just tell you the answers. So I want to leave some gaps for you to ask questions. I want to stimulate your interest in Southern Cross University main campuses, and I'll explain that, main campuses. One of the main campuses is behind me, which is on the Gold Coast. Now, the Blue Sky is original, and the buildings that are there, and behind that building is an international airport. So the international airport at Gold Coast has a 4.5-star hotel that's just been started right there as well. Some of our students will be working there. They have parking, they have food and accommodation in the area here. So there are jobs around on the Gold Coast. So I'd like to start with that discussion because always, and today will be no different, the discussion about careers, costs, jobs, living, and of course, what do you want to study is the main area to be discussed by all of us. So if I can, I'd like to run through some slides. I won't be going too much into detail with some of them. I've just, because I want to stimulate your interest. And you stimulate interest by simply explaining to you that it's your career we're talking about today. It's not just our university. And my background is in career counseling, so I'm no different to Shayaz's and Blue Sky immigration counselors. I'm talking to you as if I was a student inquiring. I want the hardest questions. I want you to simply test out my knowledge, but more to the point, test out what you may know, but also some of the things that you may need to brush up on. Because if there's only one thing that Shayaz and Blue Sky and all the counsellors know in Australia, universities are changing, courses are changing. We are in the middle of change management, and your adaptability skills will show that. So what I'd like to do is to share my screen. I'd like to, as I said, run through a quick PowerPoint if I could. And the bottom line on this is that a picture tells 1,000 words. A picture. That is actually the campus, 400 meters from the Gold Coast beaches. And the other direction, 400 to 500 meters, is that international airport. In fact, the parking on the top left here, over here, these cars here are people that are going to the airport. They are not university cars. They are airport parking cars. This area down the bottom here is university, of course, and in between is university. So you can see that the Gold Coast campus, just to start with, I wonder how far that beach goes. I wonder whether anyone's got that in their mind at the moment. I wonder how modern the labs are if I told you that in 2010, this building here was built in 2010, 2013, and 2016 through here, 17 in through this building and this building here. So there are plans for many, many more buildings, but as you know, universities are changing. So let's just run through some of the things. Why come to Southern Cross? Every university has rankings. The rankings are relevant to you in the course that you are using to do at that university. The most important from a student's point of view as a general comment about this slide is simply this. We have for over 5 of the last 8 years been #1 in Australia for student support. That means that if a student has a problem, they're looked after. If the student is going well, they get given opportunities. Some of our ambassadors, that's some of the roles that students can do, have been the chief ambassadors for the Gold Coast. They've been the mayoral ambassador. And some of those people are applying for jobs at Southern Cross University as we speak. So the world rankings are relevant. Our rankings are improving all the time. And this is one of the things that we'll talk about. We are a young university, and down the bottom, after you see the 5 stars down through here, yes, we are in the top 200 of age 50. We are a young university. Young means moving quickly. Young means changing what we do to the market, to the industry, and what people want to do for careers. At the moment, we are restructuring our university, restructuring the courses, making them more relevant, making them easier for people to access, and more flexibility in the delivery of the content for our courses. Some of the areas that we specialize in, and I've already mentioned this on the other slide. I've mentioned 5-star, I've mentioned the universities, but what about how much money you earn from going to your Southern Cross University main campuses on the Gold Coast, Lismore, or Coffs Harbour? And I mentioned Gold Coast, Lismore, and Coffs Harbour because some of the people on this today will be for Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Brisbane, other cities. I recruit for Gold Coast, Lismore, and Coffs Harbour. They are what are called regional campuses. And just on the right-hand side here, you can see that for instance, that the regional university of global focus over campuses here, that is popular with students. Why? Something about post-study work. And I'll pose this to you. Is it 2 years post-study work? Is it 3 years post-study work? Or is it 4 years post-study work? And I'll come back to that. And if I don't, somebody please ask the question. Of course, our university is above world standard in many research areas. We get research students. Research students apply a slightly different way, but what that means is that our lecturers are the researchers who are above world standard in 23 key research areas. It doesn't matter where the university is, but those lecturers are your lecturers that are above world standard at the main campuses to get that research banner from there. I've mentioned already where we are. You've already seen the middle photo. The top photo is Lismore. The bottom photo is Coffs Harbour, halfway to Sydney. Lismore, 50 minutes, 45 minutes from Byron Bay. Party central for most people that are overseas, for instance, in India. From India, where you're talking about Sydney being Mumbai, and you're talking about Byron Bay being probably Goa, and etc. So lots of different places we can talk about. Yes, we have campuses that are in Melbourne, Brisbane, and Perth, but they are to do with different sections of the university, and I'll touch on that again. I'll touch on the hotel schools and our branch campuses. The building you've seen, where it was, this is just a little bit closer up for you to see that of the Gold Coast. Lots of things at the Gold Coast. At Lismore, our regional campus, our largest campus, there is like on-campus accommodation there. On-campus accommodation is also at Coffs Harbour. On-campus accommodation is not at the Gold Coast. On-campus accommodation is only at Lismore and Coffs Harbour. And once again, prompting a question for Lismore and Coffs Harbour. We do like the beaches, not far away from them, and in Coffs Harbour, we like the hills behind here. And for instance, this is in Coffs Harbour. But if it's from the Gold Coast, it looks like this as well with the hills. So you can have the best of both worlds at Southern Cross main campuses. Courses there, the federal government has given us some money for the new allied health facility in Lismore and at Coffs Harbour. And this building, $40 million from the government was given for this building and the engineering labs at Lismore just a few years ago. So how modern is it? The equipment, extremely modern. The attitude, extremely modern, and we are changing for what we can do. What do we do? And this is really comes down to getting the nitty-gritty of courses. I will use the website shortly after this presentation to just be able to drive around a little bit for a student, because I receive calls all the time. The best advice, have a web page open while you talk to me. Why? Because it has the most updated information and because you are all tech savvy. And by the way, it's going to make things work a lot faster for you. I've dropped in education here. Why? In a different style to the rest of this. Why? Because we have, for the first time since 2012, got some education courses available for international students. We have the graduate certificate or graduate diploma in early childhood, and we've got the Master of Teaching in early childhood available. And they're both available on the Gold Coast campuses. Not every program is available on Gold Coast, Lismore, and Coffs Harbour. There are differences between campuses. This begs the idea that you must have the website, you must check, and you must simply check the intakes. Don't assume that we have 3 intakes for every course. I think over there are going to be very, very few universities are able to have 3 intakes for every that they have in Australia for some time in the future. We have to be managed prudently and also give the opportunities to the students from overseas and of course local international students that are here. Some of the things through here, some of these names are going to change, and you'll see this in the next couple of slides. Reorganizing the university, reorganizing where they sit, reorganizing some of the tourism and hospitality management courses. So once again, we have different pathways that you can do to get to where you want to go at the university. In Australia, a little bit easier to have pathways than internationally, because internationally there are different pathway GTE constraints, I suppose, for different countries, and that's a bigger discussion with people one-on-one. A couple of things I do want to point out on here though. We have commenced something called a Diploma of Health, which goes into nursing. The Diploma of Health is not going to be taught online for people overseas, but there is an intake. This is brand new. There is an intake for March and an intake for session 3. That's new. The Diploma of Arts and Social Sciences is an intake. Here, I'll show you on the website the actual intakes, but that is to qualify people to do social work. And we have a lot of people that are changing to do a Master of Social Work, changing to do education, changing to do nursing right now at our main campuses. The majority of the calls at the moment are from people changing from what they don't want to continue to do into what will get them more jobs in the future, or should I say, perceived will get more jobs in the future. It's like everyone will tell you, if you want guarantees, then guarantees aren't available. But if you want to work hard, and you say you are prepared to do hard work, opportunities arise. And opportunities are what you actually get when you're building a career profile. Start with the degree. Start with something you think you like to do. Mold it together with what you want to do with the effort and experience and context you do on the way. And then you are starting your career on the right foot. My background's in career counseling, so I have a career development angle that I always target. The students need to know what their skills are at this point in time. They want to know what is adaptable. No student that has worked hard at Southern Cross University does not reap the rewards. They get student support, top 5-star for 5 out of the last 8 years. They simply get the support. They work hard. There is only one guarantee that I have. If the student doesn't do the work, the student gets the results that they deserve. And unfortunately, I hope no student that we're speaking to today is in that category, because we all have to do the work to progress. Some of the things that we have introduced this year, I've mentioned already, the first two, but the other ones I haven't mentioned. This basically means that and if I can, this area here, for instance, is simply saying that we have new courses. This is before COVID. These were planned. New courses. Why? Because we're a progressive university that makes things happen. We have a new Vice Chancellor, Tyrone Carlin. He's proactive. He's re-establishing Southern Cross University. There is lots of things in the newspaper at the moment. There is advertising on TV at the moment. We are building, there's a TV advertisement that Rubik's Cube, for instance, is used the theory of turning things and plugging things together. In other words, taking majors from different places of the university, being creative in creating your own degree. So if you want to do the Bachelor of Business and Enterprise and you want to get a major from somewhere else, then that is possible across the university. Shared majors, they are called. Also in here, if I put up climate change, a lot of people would say, whoa, hang on, I think that's important. We should go and do something with that. Well, something at Southern Cross University, being in a rural area to start with, being focused on agriculture or focused on the environment and environmental science and marine science for so long, we have a brand new specialization. It's called Regenerative Agriculture. And in fact, it's a graduate certificate as well, Regenerative Agriculture, who I have a friend who is organic farmer. And he's actually a lawyer, but he's an organic farmer. He is going to do that graduate certificate in regenerative agriculture because in the region of Northern Rivers here in northern New South Wales and the Gold Coast and the hinterland of the Gold Coast, there are many small farmers that are helping with regeneration of the land, and they are doing very, very well, but they would like to learn more. So this is one of the things that you'll hear me say over and over again. There are opportunities, for instance, for people to choose. And you've heard me already mention the other things that are on this page, apart from community welfare. That's a new degree. Why? Because it's a 3-year degree. The Bachelor of Social Work is a 4-year degree and professional degree. Community welfare. We talk about psychology, we talk about mental health, we talk about community welfare and things that are happening at the moment in the community. There are going to be a lot of need for people to be able to look after our own communities. Some of the more traditional programs, the Bachelor of Business and Enterprise, we've changed that from Bachelor of Business. Why? Because we're entrepreneurial ourselves. So why doesn't the university do that? And we have. One of the subjects in there is called, or one of the units is called Solving Wicked Problems. Hopefully you know what a wicked problem is because there's one right in front of all of us. It's called COVID. It's called How Many People Do You See Working Together to Solve a Wicked Problem? Solving wicked problems are large problems that need so many people to work creatively to solve. And that's just one example. Of course, you can become an accountant under Bachelor of Business and Enterprise. Financial services, for years, we have been requested to do finance in our degrees, and finally we have the financial services side of our degree. So once again, these are the sorts of things that I'm targeting with you. If you want to fly a plane, you can come to Southern Cross University for 2 years only and 1 extra year just across the other side of the airport. You can go and learn a commercial pilot's license for a year. And in 3 years, you have a Bachelor of Business and Enterprise and aviation pilot's license, and you're on your way. And we have people from all around the world doing that particular course. Obviously, data analytics and those sort of things at the moment, sustainability, extremely high profile. And the Gold Coast, as we all know, in Northern New Rivers and Coffs Harbour, tourism is extremely important. You can see there the information technology, and I'm sure you've read that already, so I'll just press on. Some of the changes that are happening at Southern Cross. Engineering. We have civil, mechanical, and coastal systems engineering. Things to do with water. Are there any problems with floods in the world? Are there any problems with rivers that are killing things? Yes. Any problems that we don't have the river flow through Western New South Wales to go to the Murray-Darling River down near South Australia? There are issues we have to solve. We change the courses to solve the issues. We want students to do that. And the science, for instance, we can see those other ones that are there. I just want to push through. The nursing and midwifery is fairly straightforward, and the environmental science is to do with marine. A lot of people don't realize, if you go scuba diving at Coffs Harbour, just off from the National Marine Science Centre, you will have glorious reefs. Why? Because that's where the reef starts, going to the barrier reef. And that's why we have the only centre that draws water from the sea into our research laboratories at Coffs Harbour at the National Marine Science Centre. That's why students go to the Great Barrier Reef as well to do some research as well. And that's why some of our university lecturers and researchers are above world standard, because they are saving and solving problems in that area of environmental sciences. These master's programs, lots of them. So I'm not going to talk about each one of them, but lots of them that we do. I've already mentioned some of them are important for us. And the Master of Engineering Management and MBA together, good for people that have been engineers. But this slide, want some money? Remember this slide. How good are you? Are you good enough to get $15,000 for a year times 4, get 60,000? Are you good enough to get 32,000 for a 4-year degree? Or 24,000 or 45,000 for a 3-year degree? Pass all your subjects, that's what you get. Providing you are academically capable, you qualify for each one of these universities' scholarships, and it is dependent on which country people come from as well. So this is Session 1, 2021 scholarships. They are under review. We expect that the majority of them will stay, but that could be adjusted given everything else that's happening as well. We are a regional campus, so that's why there's a regional scholarship. Encourage people to go to the region. Finally, it does not cost $21,000 to live in Gold Coast, Lismore, or Coffs Harbour, as the government says, the Department of Home Affairs says. On the Gold Coast, it's between 12 and 15,000. In Lismore, it's less. In Coffs, it is less. Finally, people are looking at regional campuses for the right reasons. They get great degrees, they have a great opportunity, and the bottom line is they save money. So a couple of things that happen. I've already mentioned the accommodation at Lismore and Coffs Harbour. It's just called SCU Village. Homestay and rental units, just some things that we can do to help out people. What are the costs? I've already mentioned to you just then what I said of some costs, but on the website, we actually put these costs in. And by the way, those costs that I suggested just then, international students tell me it is less than that for them. But I would like to overestimate, not underestimate costs, so you realize how good it is to go to a regional campus. This photo here, why do I like this photo? Because the person on the left was Dux of the Bachelor of Business, came from overseas. He got involved in the university, unbelievably involved, and he got the most out of the university, and he has an accounting job in the middle of COVID on the Gold Coast. The other people, for instance, I don't know them quite as well, but I do know that one of the students is from South Africa and one is from Europe too. So lots of things that you can do at Southern Cross University. These are just some of the things that we have. And of course, we've got careers, we've got people to help you. There's a health clinic. You want a job? Yes, we've got a thing called Career Hub. Yes, we help students get jobs. Do we give the student that does not try a job? The answer is obviously no, you don't give that student, but you give them the opportunity to get the job just like everyone else. However, realize this, if you're not at the highest level, somebody else will beat you for the job. So you do need to put the effort in. So if I can, I'd like to just finish up doing things and stop sharing my screen. And I just need to switch my video off just for one moment, if I could, just while I adjust something, and then I'll be back to you. So lots of things that I've spoken of there, but at the same time, it's the questions that you actually want me to answer. It's also the things that you want me to show you on the website of how to apply. It's also answering your questions. So what I'll do, Shayaz, is that I would like to show just something on the website, but I'm just given the time. Would you like me to answer some questions?
No, I think if you want to show something, you can go ahead first. Then we can, at the end, we can cover some of the questions.
Okay, no problems. I just want to balance the time as you would like. Okay. So if I may, everyone, I'm going to share my screen with the website. Why? Because this is what you do. When I'm not here, this is what you talk through. This is where you find the information. I'll show you a couple of techniques that I use. And this is what a lot of people do. Not everyone does, but I do. A lot of people like going under here and just putting a name in here like IT. And then they just simply see that the Bachelor of Information Technology in 2021 is here. They click on it and then they start their investigation, okay? So that's one way you can get to this page. The other way you get to this page is simply this. See this international courses button here? That will get you to all the courses, and I'll go there now. That will get you to all the courses that are available for you right now at Southern Cross University main campuses. The Gold Coast, Lismore and Coffs Harbour. This will give you the fees, the intake, the IELTS that needs to be done, etc., etc. So let's get back to the same page that I just went to then by doing a search. The page I went to is Bachelor of Information Technology. Same way, but just so you know, there's not just one way. The other thing is there, if you just hover across the study at SU, fastest way to find out about scholarships is just go down here and type and have a look at international. They're all there. So once again, let's do that quickly. Scholarship page, international scholarships, and all those scholarships I talked about are right there with links. And the information is through here. So I'm saying that this is on the side here of where to get to. So the education here, the scholarship. Obviously, with just going back to the particular courses that you can have a look at. The information from here, and let's just pick one course that is popular, very, very popular at the moment, if I can. So I'm just going to put the nursing. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
This course, or will I do social work? I think this one is more pertinent just right now because we're in the last weeks of applications for this. The way to drive our website, everyone, for any course is to simply get to the course this page. To hit the button course structure. Why? Because this shows you all the subjects you can choose and have a look whether you like it or not. Nursing, it says that you've got to do a certain amount of nursing study in things to do this, and exit awards and what you've got to do. So if you were starting full time, this tells you exactly what you would be doing. If you want to drive further in to find out a timetable or what's happening or when it's available or more about the unit, you would drive in. You would see that it is in session 1 and 2. It's available, session 1 and 2, this subject. So this is more details. You would go in and see that the unit content is here if you are choosing a place. The textbooks you would find out, but I just want to show you one other thing you would find out. How often do I have to go to course? How often do I have to go and do this unit? Gold Coast, lecture online for 1 hour a week for 12 weeks, a lab session for 2 hours, lecture on site for 2 hours, okay? It tells you immediately. It then tells you how the assessment is done. So it's all up front how much you can find out. Lots of information you can find out. So this is driving things from here. If, and Shayas, you may have a research student somewhere, but I'll just say to the research students that we may have on here that this research area is where they would go. They would simply go to how to apply. Don't worry about the rest. And they simply have a look at this page that says exactly what level you need to be to apply. And you would have to, if you were in research, find it. This is a person. Remember I told you that somebody from the marine area? This is our top professor for marine science in the university that is always quoted on the TV and above world standard for his research. So this actually lists all the staff and their research that they are doing. Please, anyone interested in research, the amount of information you get from here is enormous. So please, that's just a quick comment for researchers. But mainly, most of you are this. Most of you will be able to go to that international page and click on everything from here. Everything from here. If I can show you just one other thing, if I could. How to apply page. There is a lot of information on here. And remember I said that there were 3 parts to Southern Cross University? Southern Cross University, main campuses, what I'm talking about for me, Gold Coast, Lismore, Coffs Harbour. You've got the hotel schools in Sydney and Melbourne, and now it's got a hotel school in Brisbane. And you've got Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth for the other providers, the provider or the branches operator called Educode. So this is the high thing is that you may get credit. Ask questions. So please, Shayas, one more thing is to simply speak with people about how easy it is to do things like have the website and to simply find out information from the website about videos that they can see. They can get shown around the campus by videos. They can see the Gold Coast, Lismore, and Coffs Harbour by videos off our website. So it's a matter of knowing where this information is kept for everyone. And it's one of these things that I will show you one more that share. I've just been getting that up on my screen. But where I'm going to show you now is simply a page that says the locations of our campuses, okay? Locations. If I click on any one of these and I click on this, there is a video on this page and there's, see the photos. They're real photos, by the way. They're not made up from the university. A video transcript, you don't have access to things, you can see videos from here. And please, this will start here, so I won't dwell on it. It will start and play over the top. But there is a video down the bottom here that you can see moving now, Gold Coast virtual tour, that you can actually see inside the buildings. So the bottom line is this, that there are so many different resources available for you to find out about Southern Cross University main campuses, Gold Coast, Lismore, or Coffs Harbour. And these maps and these pages are duplicated for every place you want to see. Lismore, same format, inside buildings you can see, just like as if COVID was not here. So please, I hope I've stimulated some interest, but there's one thing that I haven't told you about that is on this page. And it's a Coomera Creative Campus on the Gold Coast, north of the Gold Coast, North End. And it's a creative campus for music. The Northern Rivers for music and arts is the most concentrated professional area for people to live. There are rock bands that live in the area, there are individuals live in the area, and there are movie stars live in the area. Why? Because it's easy access, because it's near the beaches, and because the environment is extremely, extremely easy to live in. And that's one of the reasons why I might share with you the following, that's the Gold Coast photo, and 30 minutes from there is this, where I'm sitting as I speak to you today in the hinterland of Gold Coast. 25 to 30 minutes from here. Lismore is across this mountaintop. The Gold Coast is in front of me, 30 minutes. And when I say Gold Coast, this building and this beach. Where is the university campus from the Gold Coast? Just so people can research this themselves. The university campus and the international airport is down here. And the photos that I just showed you behind the Gold Coast, that's actually a very small photo, but that is the mountain that you could see in the distance. So please, lots of things for you to think about, but Shayaz, I'd like to stop and answer any questions, any dialogue that you would like me to do, totally, because I'm open. And as you know, we've dealt before, students can ask me anything.
Thank you, Don. Thanks for the wonderful presentation, and it's very informative. And I pick up your question about how many years post-study work visa. So the student can in a regional, they can have the 4 years, and the regional city they can have the 3 years of the post-study work.
Okay, so let me answer this to make sure that I've got it correct for everyone. Okay.
Yes.
Gold Coast, Lismore, and Coffs Harbour are not the same.
Yes.
First thing, the Gold Coast is
3 years.
Lismore
4 years.
and Coffs Harbour 4 years. If you do research, it is more, and if you do PhD, it is more. Now that's probably enough detail, Shayaz, but it's a long time. Put it that way.
Yes.
That students can be with Southern University and live in this environment, or go to another environment, but I mean live in this environment and enjoy. I go to Sydney and Melbourne quite often when COVID was not here. Why? I go to the MCG to watch my football team. Why? Because the cheap airfares. You can go to Sydney, where the people that live in Sydney, it's a lot more expensive. It's 30% more expensive in Sydney and Melbourne. So please, everyone, add up figures, work out what is best for you. If you want to find jobs, go to seek.com and compare exactly Sydney, Melbourne, and the Gold Coast per capita jobs. That is per population. You will find that the Gold Coast, last time I did it, the Gold Coast had a higher percentage of jobs per population than even Sydney. Now, this is crazy to think that, but you only need one job, everyone. Come on, one job, one application, and you be the best for it. If you have 100 jobs to apply for and you're not good enough for any of them, I'm sorry. It mattered that there was 100 compared to one. You need to realize that, please. Not just the volume of population gets you the job, it's the job's availability. Yes, Shez?
Yes. So thanks, Don. Then we can open the questions for everyone. So if anyone has any question for Don is here, you can ask any question, and difficult to difficult one, the Don will be here to answer it.
Okay, so I can see a couple here. That are asking me about Bachelor of Community Welfare, Bachelor of Podiatry, of Midwifery, who can apply and future chances for women, and is it in demand list of immigration. Now, obviously, the agent can talk about things that I can't talk about, so I'll leave you, Shayas, to the last bit. I can talk about employment. I've mentioned already community welfare. If there's not going to be more jobs in community welfare, you're not looking around and seeing how tough it is for people at the moment. We'll have to create more jobs in community welfare because there are people that will be hurting after COVID and are now, and therefore we need to create more jobs in that particular area for lots of different reasons. And if anyone has a habit, a bad, not that I can ask that, and please don't tell me, but the thing is this: in society, some people have bad habits. They need help from the community and community welfare. There are more jobs and more jobs happen with that. Podiatry, if people look up how much you get paid for podiatry, you get paid more than nursing. Have I said enough? It's the most underrated potential course that we have in the university, with the highest level of international manufacturing lab that you could ever see, probably 5 in the world. You can make shoes if you do podiatry and podortics. The lab makes shoes for people. They do everything. They do the treatment, podiatry. And midwifery, please, it's simple. Is anyone having babies? Yes. Midwifery is in demand. Okay. And the bottom line is, but to do with the employment side of that, once again, look up on seek.com, put that in there, and then you get the exact answer. You'll get the exact answer today, what it's like, but it does not mean it will be tomorrow or in 2 years or 3 years after post-study work. So please be careful what you judge things by. Life is about predicting and going for it and adapting and modifying. That's because things change, okay, everyone? That's a simple answer. So please adapt with that. This one, which is the best master degree for Bachelor of Civil Engineers? If somebody is a civil engineer in their own country and they want to go into management, then they can do the Master of Engineering Management / MBA. Why is that good? Because it matches up the management skills set, not the technical side. It's not for people to become an engineer. It's for people to manage engineers. So it's the Master of Engineering Management MBA together with that. Sorry, that's just live. Some of the others, who can apply for Master of Early Childhood? Somebody that is suitable for the Master of Early Childhood is my most correct answer. However, have you got an interest in looking after children at childcare that are up to 6 years of age? 5, 6 years of age? That's what early childhood is. That's the first part. Anyone can apply to do Master of Early Childhood. They have to be suitable to do it. They have to realize what the course is and what the job is, of course, and they have to jump through, be eligible. But if you see on our website, the eligibility criteria for this is simply and I'll just click back on him. And this is why getting information directly from there, anyone can do it though. That's the answer. But it does have to be, it does, we have to remember one thing. We can do something to get a degree. We can do something to just get some other things I'm not allowed to talk about. The bottom line is, first thing people ask me is, how do I get a job? And I have to be very careful of saying to them, okay, you need to particularly work towards something you like doing, but we'll get you the job and we'll get you the creation of what opportunity you want. We have students that have done accounting, nursing, science, becoming early childhood. Some of them have worked part-time in volunteer positions that show that they're interested, or they've got extended family, or they've got something that they have done. Other people have just developed the interest, and they can talk about that. Other ones there, what do you think? Shaz, somebody has put down a Doctor of Philosophy in Engineering. Okay, do I know if there's a Doctor of Philosophy in Engineering? I'm going to say that there is. I'm just literally clicking on the research. I'll show my screen once I get there. And the bottom line is the courses that are there, research degrees, I'm just a whole list. And if I can share, I was going to answer yes to start with, but I must admit I like to find the exact answer before I do that, okay? So sharing my screen right now. On the right-hand side, this is where I went to on the research. I went to the research button, I went to graduate school, and I went to, it just said courses. On the right-hand side here it says Doctor of Philosophy in Engineering. So the answer was yes, but I just wanted to make sure that I could point you in the right direction. It's a 4-year degree through that school. And the thesis you have to do must embody all of the below. And obviously you've got to qualify at a highest level. This says on here, the course fees are $30,000 per annum, unless a tuition fee waiver has been approved as per the below information. And it tells you things there, including the IELTS score you have to be, and you have to get with a supervisor, and you find the supervisor, and that's how you get into that one. Similarly, on this page, there is meet your supervisors. It's as simple as about different majors.